All right, let's talk about the ending of Death Note, not in that stiff, textbook way, but more like you de-unpack it with a friend who just binge-watched the series and has a million questions swirling in their head. The biggest question: who actually won? Was it Light, the genius who thought he could shape the world, or Nier and the forces that tried to stop him? Or did someone else quietly walk away with the prize? First, let's set the mood. By the final episode, we read deep into a tangled game that is as much about philosophy as it is about who can outsmart whom. For years, Light has managed to keep his dual life as Kira and as a model student meticulously separate. He's outmaneuvered L, outwitted the police, and turned the Death Note into a weapon of social change. But slowly, as his victories pile up, you can kind of sense the noose tightening. It's that classic thing: the higher he climbs, the longer the fall. When Nier comes into play, the tone shifts. He's not L, but he's cut from the same cloth, quietly confident, observant, and unsettlingly calm. Unlike L, who matched Light's charisma, Nier brings this cold, clinical vibe. The final confrontation isn't some epic duel, but rather a series of mind games that mirror everything this show is about: trust, conviction, and what happens when both start to slip. So, who wins? If you take it at surface level, Nier and his team expose Light as Kira and put an end to his reign. Light's downfall is almost Shakespearean: 1 minute you're king of the world, and the next you're limping away, shattered and babbling. It's not a glorious exit. It's agonizing to watch if you spend any time rooting for him. This is where the debate really sparks up. Some fans argue that Nier won in a technical sense. He solved the case and apprehended Light, so justice prevails, right? But the way Nier wins feels less like genius and more like inheriting the work L started. He builds on the legacy, takes fewer risks, and isn't as emotionally invested. He even says as much. He doesn't care about being a hero, nor does he seem happy about catching Kira. It's a win on paper, but emotionally, it's kind of empty. You can see it in the subdued celebration. No one is really celebrating. Even Nier's victory speech is measured, almost melancholic. But let's zoom out for a second. Light loses for sure, but he does get people talking. Whether you side with Kira or think he's a monster, Light literally changes how society thinks. After his death, there's this sense that no one, not the good guys or the bad guys, can put the world back exactly how it was. People are still praying to Kira's memory, driven by that strange, desperate hope for a world without crime. In a way, Light plants a seed of fear and awe that outlives him. That's a kind of win, if you believe in legacy over survival. There's also the question of whether anyone actually won it all. Nier gets Light caught, but he inherits a society that's been traumatized and polarized. The police force is battered, and a lot of good people are dead or disillusioned. Misa is left broken. Ryuk is off to wherever Shinigami go when bored, and the world's no closer to peace. It's like a chess game where both sides lost pieces they can't replace. And let's not forget Ryuk. He's the true wild card, just watching it all unfold with that shifty grin. In the end, Ryuk gets what he wants: entertainment. He's not sad Light lost. He's not pleased that Nier won. Ryuk just wanted to see what would happen. And in a sense, he did win by stoking human drama and then walking away untouched. If there's a character whose goals were perfectly met, it might just be the Shinigami with the apple problem. There's one more angle, maybe the bleakest. If you look at the ending with a cynical eye, you might notice that the real winner is the Death Note itself. The power to kill from afar, to reshape society through fear, doesn't die with Light. Ryuk could drop it anywhere, anytime, into another bored, bright kid's hands. That's the real danger, and it's why the series feels so open-ended rather than wrapped up. The cycle could always begin again. Fans are still split. Some see Nier as the winner because justice prevails. Others argue Light's ideology haunts the world beyond his death, so he wins in terms of influence. And a lot just think nobody really won, which is maybe the point. So, here's how I'd sum it up, not like a teacher, but like someone who finished the show and sat with it for a while. Death Note's ending isn't about a simple win or loss. It's about how ambition, justice, and power twist in each person's hands. Light inspires fear, Nier restores order, if only briefly, and Ryuk sparked the drama. But no one gets out clean. Maybe that is why the finale sticks with you. You can't point at anyone and say, they got what they deserved. It's messy, uncomfortable, and maybe a little closer to how real victory looks in a world where everyone has got their own idea of justice. If you're thinking about making a video out of this, focus on the faces and small details in that last episode. Light's panic, Nier's cold calm, the reflection in Ryuk's eyes when it's all over. Those moments tell the story as much as words do. And if you find yourself rooting for a different winner every time you rewatch it, that's not by accident. That's Death Note doing what it always does, playing with your sense of what winning and losing really mean.